Hi all, this is just going to be a short lecture about how to do the practice test and the test for Chapter 7. So you'll find the practice test is already posted in the module section under Chapter 7 test. It'll say Chapter 7 practice test. I'll also be posting the actual Chapter 7 test in this same module. But let's take a look at the practice test because it's very, the questions are very similar to how they will be on the test. So on this practice test, you'll see we have 10 multiple choice questions and then 3 proofs at the bottom. So the actual test is going to contain more problems. I haven't exactly figured out what the breakdown is going to be in terms of multiple choice and proofs. It has been 20 multiple choice and 6 proofs in the past, but given that you're going to have to work in a different format, I'm probably going to modify that. So let's take a look at the different question types and what I'm asking you to do. So for the multiple choice questions, they all say the same, have the same instructions. Select the conclusion that follows in a single step from the following premises. So then it gives us 3 premises. So tilde r, triple bar, tilde r, n dot tilde t, r horseshoe, tilde open parenthesis, n dot tilde t close parenthesis. So then we're given 3 choices here. And we have to see which of these follows in a single step from those premises. So with option A here, can we simplify line 2 to get tilde t in one step? Well, if we look at the rule for simplification, so when you take these tests, you should definitely have all of the rules that we've gone over in front of you in a very easily accessible way. So whether that's a piece of paper or a document on your computer, however you want to do it, you should have those rules in front of you. So can we simplify line 2 to get tilde t? Well, if we look at the rule for simplification, we see that simplification tells you if you have p dot q, then you can simplify and get p. But you can't get q in one line. You can do it in 2 lines by flipping it around and simplifying. So commute them and then simplify, but you can't do it in 1 line. So we can't get tilde t by simplifying line 2 in 1 step. It would take more than 1 step. So can we do in the second possibility, can we do MT, can we do modus tollens on lines 2 and 3 and get tilde R? Well, modus tollens tells us if you have P horseshoe Q, and if on another line you have the negation of Q, so tilde Q, you can get tilde P. So we have R, everything before the horseshoe, and we have the negation, tilde R, but what we would need on line 2 would be the negation of this, tilde open parenthesis, n dot tilde t close parenthesis. So what we need is that, all that, with another tilde in front of it. So we would need tilde tilde, open parenthesis, n dot tilde t close parenthesis. Now, we don't have that on line 2, so we can't do MT to get tilde R. Again, we could do it in 2 steps. If we put parentheses around 2 through 2 tildes in front of it, that would be, then we could double negate, that would be double negating it, and then we would have what we need to do MT, but you can't do it in 1 step. So that leaves us with 3. Can we do De Morgan's on line 3 and get R horseshoe open parenthesis, tilde N, wedge, tilde tilde T, close parenthesis? Well, what De Morgan's allows us to do is take a negation, take a tilde that's outside the parentheses, give it to each of the statement variables that are in the parentheses, and then flip the sign from a dot to a wedge or a wedge to a dot. And then we would get exactly what we get in C here. So that's how we would answer that. The answer to number 1 would be C. I won't go through any more of these, but you see how you look at the answer, go back to the question, ask yourself, can I do this operation on that or those lines and get this as an answer in 1 step? And that 1 step is important. So that's how you do all 1 through 10 on the practice test, and however many multiple choice questions there are on the actual test, that's what they'll be like. If you have the rules right in front of you and you've been doing all the homework, and so you know how to apply those rules so you don't get turned around by tildes, you don't get turned around by slight differences in signs, then you should be able to answer those hopefully fairly easily. The next part will be proofs. So you have to complete the following proof in the space provided. So P horseshoe parentheses G horseshoe T, Q horseshoe parentheses T horseshoe E, P and Q, and we're trying to get G horseshoe E. So you can use any of the rules that we've, any of the 13 rules that you've been provided with. So how can we do this proof? Well, you would jump in with step number 5. So you have 4 premises, so you'd go to step 5 here. And what are we trying to get? We're trying to get G horseshoe E. So what is a first step that we could take? Well, we have P and we have Q. Those are antecedents to those conditional statements. So we can use modus ponens to get the consequence. So for line 5, we could do get G horseshoe T, for example. Throw some spaces in there. And how did we get G horseshoe T? We did 1, 3, MP. So then you'd continue on with the rest of the proof, numbering each step, justifying each step with a rule and some lines on which you're performing that rule, and then when you get to the conclusion here, G horseshoe E, and you justify that step, then you would be finished. So you would have a line 6 with, you know, something and a justification. You'd have a line 7 with something and a justification, and that's how you'll do the proofs. So hopefully that makes sense. In fact, let me just finish this proof up so that it's totally clear what I expect the answers to look like. So you'll get G horseshoe T, that's 1, 3. Then you'll use lines 2 and 4 to get T horseshoe E. And 2, 4 again, we did MP to do that. All right, so now that we have G horseshoe T and we have T horseshoe E, what we're trying to get is G horseshoe E. So we would do hypothetical syllogism, cut out the middleman, we'd get G horseshoe E. And that was 5, 6, hypothetical syllogism. And look, now we got the conclusion we were looking for. We justified all our steps on the line in which we gave that answer. So that's what the proofs will look like. On this practice test, you have 3. You may have more, you may have less on the actual test. Again, I haven't quite decided what the distribution of questions will be on the actual test, but for the practice test, you have 10 multiple choice you can practice, 3 proofs you can practice to make sure that you are well prepared for the actual test, that you know the procedure for solving these questions, and you're very handy with doing these proofs online. Okay? Email me if you have any questions, or if you want to set up a Zoom meeting and we can talk more about any rules that you're having difficulty with, any homework problems that you're having difficulty with, or anything on the practice test that you're having difficulty with. All right. Hope you're all doing well, and good luck on all this. Thanks.